go, mucus in your lumbar nerve, bronchitis, mucus in your bronchial tubes, asthma, mucus in your lungs, nephritis, mucus in your kidney, and a migraine headache might be mucus in your head, and sore eyes is mucus in your eyes. You understand that? So where did mucus come from? That is the question to ask.
Milk.
Like I always make this analogy. If you come in your house and your house is wet, is it better to just mop the floor, or wouldn't it make more sense to fix the hole in the roof? So fixing the hole in the roof is being mindful of what you're eating. If you God's highest creation, you should be eating the purest of foods. You drink coconut water. If you mix the young coconut water with spinach juice, you mix them together, it cleans the bloodstream. And I see my brother there. You had a stroke, my brethren? You were born like that?
Gunshot.
Oh, you were shot, okay. I thought it might have been some stroke. Because most of the strokes come about because of brain damage. The chemicals cause brain damage. And that is what the ganja good for. Brain damage. And I'm not necessarily talking about smoking the ganja, I'm talking about using the ganja.
Exactly.
That's why we have to tell the government to free it up, because some people want to use it as tea and they say it's illegal. So we want them to free it up.
I want to use that tea.
The oil and the seed of the ganja.
I want the seeds.
And the ganja that will not give you the big eye. They say, it come on CNN the other day, they tell you it's good for epileptic fits. So people who suffering from fits. We know this Rasta brother in Barbados who suffer from this stroke. His name is David. When I go the other day in Barbados, David driving me around Barbados, speeding with me. I said, David, you didn't have a stroke, Bridget? They tell me, yes, Mom, I was smoking some of the ganja. This biochemist made a solution with the ganja. So he take the oil of the ganja and he put it on the weed. And I myself, when I smoke it, I would fall asleep. But it's really relaxing. The resin from that ganja remove the damage of the brain. The same thing the coconut oil does.
Thank you.
The same thing the cold pressed olive oil does.
Thank you to tell me, because it's getting me brain right now.
Okay.
Thank you to tell me.
So these are the oils to use, the cold pressed coconut oil. There's a lady who tell me, Ras Bobby, I come to tell you that I used to get strokes all the time. And ever since I started using Moringa, all the strokes gone. So when you have strokes, you might want to massage the leg. You might want to use a ball for exercising the brain. But the problem is in the brain itself. So it's there we have to go with nerve tonics. This pomegranate there, the seeds of it full of estrogen. So if a woman feels that she don't love her, she don't want her husband in that way anymore, it's because her body lacking in estrogen. The seeds of this is high estrogen. So after you eat the sweet part, dry it, pound it, make tea with it by boiling it, sister. And it will, you will be more sympathetic.
Somebody give me a tree there.
The back of the pomegranate is high, is great for abdominal pain.
The leaf of the tree.
Abdominal pain.
The leaf of the tree good for anything?
Somebody say pressure. I have never used it myself.
Okay.
But I know for the skin and the seeds. I want to say big up to Professor. And big up to all the natural healers. And by the way, every woman is a healer. Every single woman is a healer.
Professor, come.
Like flatulence, gas. Sometimes you eat a fruit and you get abdominal pain because of that. Which I'm trying to tell people, stop eating fruits that are half ripe. Do not use bananas that are half ripe. Before, people used to say bananas will hurt you if you eat it in the night. It's if you eat half ripe bananas in the night, it will hurt you. If you eat mango half ripe, it will destroy your brain. You hear what I show you? So a lot of you like the mango half ripe. The best mango to eat is when you hold that mango and it just falls in your hand. And when it ripe up the tree. The mangoes you put to ripe, if you are diabetic, don't eat them, they're too ripe. You hear? Everything is about balance. Too much sugar is a problem. Too much salt is a problem. Too much of one bush is a problem. A lot of you think moringa is a miracle herb, and time you use moringa, all problems solved. A big lie that. True healing is a way of life.
Yeah.
That involves exercise,
rest, water,
good food, combining your food properly, enough water, and other pure liquids. Work, rest, prayer, and a desire to genuinely serve humanity. The yellow part of it is good for prostate problems. The yellow part, the skin of the pomegranate.
That's the pith.
The guava leaves. In ancient times when the bowels was running because of constipation, and you might hear me saying the bowels running and he's talking about constipation. I want you to know constipation have two extremes. Just like they have the yin and the yang. You can be constipating and your bowel running, and you can be constipated and your bowels cannot move.
Yep.
Both of them is constipation. But when your bowels can't stop running, use the young leaves of the guava for constipation. The leaves of the sugar apple tree plant is also great for constipation, for running, diarrhea. It's good for those who dysentery. If you have diarrhea with blood in it, it's excellent for you. Another thing good for bleeding again is the cayenne pepper. For bleeding, for internal hemorrhages, cayenne pepper will stop the internal hemorrhages. Jesus.
Oh, I've got that in my backyard.
Okay, the oregano is good for oxygen. If you lock in oxygen.
You have a lot.
The oregano is good for oxygen.
Bring us
Yeah, I'll bring it when I bring the
Some
card.
people call it oregano, some people call it margarine.
No, they're different. Marjoram is different.
Rosemary.
If you like it in oxygen, it's good for oxygen. It's also used as seasoning and good for all issues related to mucus. It's also antiseptic and will clean the blood. So just to let you know, oregano. This one here is called maiden apple. Some sisters use that to bring down their period. So maybe that's why it's called maiden apple. It's also good for diabetics. It's good to clean the blood. And if you come to me because you're possessed with demons, I may want to bathe you with that bush. So when somebody was talking about earlier on which bush to bathe with, this is one of the bushes you can bathe with. And when we're talking about demons, we're serious.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about demons, we want you to know that demons are negative thoughts. What you're thinking. Or sometimes if you're not focused. So don't go and tell people, as Bobby said, you're removing devils and acting as some kind of Roman Catholic exorcist. It's not that I'm talking. Certain times people get crazy because of stress, or because there's a certain chemical in the brain responsible for balancing the brain. The body is overproducing it, and then you get crazy. Or sometimes lack of exercises, lack of electromagnetic energy all over the body, and people start acting funny. And we have to give the people bush baths to help them focus again. You see, the thing about it, brothers and sisters, is that our body has billions of cells in it. But the body is a kind of body, irrespective of where the cells are. Every single cell has its own intelligence. You hear what I say now? Every single cell in the body, and now modern technology has proved that every single cell in your body has its own intelligence. So sometimes different cells think in different things while it's in your body. And certain cells hook together thinking the same thing. In such a state, it's difficult for the body to get healed. That is why now, people who come to us, every single one of you who come to me, I will advise you to do breathing exercises on a daily basis. Because breathing exercises teaches you how to focus. By taking deep breaths and focusing absolutely on the most important thing. And I want to reiterate that the most important thing is to keep breathing. By focusing on the most important thing, you naturally teach yourself how to focus. You hear the cliche that you must keep your eyes on the prize and don't blink. You ever hear the cliche, you have to perceive to receive, but you must first perceive. You also hear the cliche of the Bible that says, faith is the evidence of things not seen, the substance of things hoped for. It was the Buddhist who said that if a man thinks of an action without a conflicting thought, the body performs it always. Yep. So that is why when you're sick, you must stop believing that you're sick and declare that you're well. And repeat that prayer so that you will be so convinced that you will naturally become healed. So once your mind is already healed, the body must follow. And those of you who think you're getting old and you're looking old, it's because you're thinking old. Take a picture of when you were young and put it on the wall, look at it every day, and tell yourself, I shall be young again. And young you will be. There's a book I read years ago, called The Ancient Secrets of the Fountain of Youth. It talked about some yogis that lived in the hills of Himalayas. It was this colonel who went to the hills, fighting war in India, and heard about this village that had a technique called the Fountain of Youth. And he did go to the mountain after he had retired from war, and did find the Fountain of Youth. And in that village were many villagers who every morning came out of their house and did stretching and breathing exercises at the same time. It is possible to minus a few years from yourself, my brothers and sisters. Not that you would have been living less years, but you would actually be younger. Up to now I can still stand on my head for 15 minutes. Up to now I can still run for 10 miles without stopping. You understand? So I'm saying good health is your birthright. We're here to serve the Creator by serving others genuinely. But to serve